extra time.
इससे समझाओ।
विन ग्रिप टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ इस तरह सीमेंट को ग्रिप करता है बिल्कुल टाइट।
SRMB TMT चैंपियंस की पसंद।
Mr. Shastri, to you first. You've seen many wins, many battles between India and Australia. Where would you place this win? Because many are calling this the greatest win ever. And Shane Warne has called it cricket's version of Thriller in Manila.
It's they're not wrong. When you look at the circumstances that this team came to Australia, being in lockdown for 4 months, where a lot of people living in metros couldn't even get out of their flats, leave alone having an opportunity to train. Then to go to the IPL and someone like Jasprit Bumrah, because of Mumbai winning, he's bowled 64 overs. That's it. None of the other guys have got a proper hit in the middle. Then to come here and take on Australia in their own backyard, where the world knows how tough it is. And then to go through these quarantine periods, have injuries, multiple injuries, right through the tour, to be, bowled out for 36, India's lowest score, and then to come back from there and play like, absolute champions is unreal. I mean, the penny has still not dropped, and it will take a long time to drop. But, unreal. What I've seen, unreal, unimaginable, simply superb. Especially the resolve and the character the boys have shown right through.
Would you consider the stint that you have spent as coach after the third test to the beginning of the fourth test, when you had to take those tough decisions? Is it the toughest phase of your coaching career with the Indian team? The decisions that you had to take, whether to play a Bumrah, Ashwin not fit, and everything that can go wrong went wrong. Was the toughest 7 days? 3-4 days?
This is the toughest tour ever. We are playing it in COVID times, in quarantine times, and with the multiple injuries you said. So nothing comes close to this. This surpasses all.
Coach, when the injury list kept growing, really what were the thoughts in your mind? Can you just talk about behind the scenes, the conversations you had with Ajinkya or with Dr. Nitin Patel? Really, what was going on?
I mean, we were left with no choices. We had no one left in the squad when the final test started, and we had to play the guys who were there. I mean, if you look at the bowling attack that India beat Australia last time, there's not a single bowler playing in that last game. So it was important, to keep the self-belief going. And I think Ajinkya did a great job by being calm, composed, and taking everything in his stride. It's not easy, as a captain to go out with a bowling attack that's just 3 test matches old. It's no joke. But then to marshal the resources and keep everyone going, I thought was an outstanding achievement. And it's the self-belief that this team has. And, people think it's come overnight. It doesn't come overnight. It's a process that's taken 5-6 years. These boys have been playing with each other for 5-6 years. They've had tough tours. They've had losses. But, what they've learned now is never to give up. Feeling defeated is one thing, but giving up is not in our vocabulary. And that this team has shown more than anything else. And you must give credit. He may not be here, Virat. He's back home in India. But, his character, his personality, that stamp is there for everyone to see in this team as well. And then for Ajinkya to take over the way he did was simply unreal.
Can you just as the series wrapped up, there seemed to be lots of emotions there. Can you just go talk about the emotions, maybe, just after you went back? How emotional was it? And Ravi, have you ever seen a bunch of guys get possibly emotional, and rightfully so, because they've achieved something great?
I got emotional. I'm not someone who generally has tears in my eyes, but I had some real tears in my eyes, because this is unreal. What these guys have pulled off is, will go down in history as, one of the greatest series ever played. And when you look at the COVID situation and the spate of injuries and, all those things, when you take it into account, and then to show the stomach for a fight after being bowled out for 36 is unimaginable.
Any point in the chase, if we think about the draw, what was the mindset? Like, especially if you have to talk about Rishabh Pant when he went out, What was the message to him?
I think right from the very beginning, we had a chat, Jinx, myself, the support staff, and we said, let's play normal cricket. Just play your natural game. Don't try and manufacture something. Try and set the game up more than anything else. Take it session by session. And then if you get an opportunity towards the end, and if you have wickets in hand, then you can think, about going for it. But the innings Gill played really set the platform and the tone, because it was an outstanding innings for someone on his first tour of Australia on a bouncy Gabba track to take on the attack like the way he did. He got the momentum going. And then there was, Rishabh Pant. You can't change his style of play. In his mind, he was always chasing it. That one thing, he kept looking at the scoreboard. You knew he had some other ideas.
Ravi bhai, as a player, you played with and against so many fantastic captains, and you also led India to a test victory against the West Indies. When you see Ajinkya captaining India, anyone from that constellation you can relate to?
I think very simple, very calm and composed, Ajinkya. When he's out there, he's not ruffled by anything. Even he led from the front with his innings in Melbourne, which really set us back on track, to challenge Australia, get a lead, and then force a win. And we haven't looked back since, which is tremendous.
रवि, अब आपके कंट्रीब्यूशन का बहुत कम मेंशन होता है, जिक्र होता है. आप इतने साल से टीम के साथ हैं, बट प्लेयर्स की चर्चा होती है, बट जब आलोचना होती है तो आपकी बहुत होती है, आपकी तारीफ कम होती है. और हम जानते हैं कि आप कुछ वन लाइनर्स बोलते हैं टीम को इनकरेज करने के लिए. जैसा अभी हमने एक सुना था कि आपने बोला था कि भाड़ में जाए पिच, हमें यहाँ पे 20 विकेट चाहिए और जीतना है. तो कुछ उसके बारे में बताएंगे, ऐसा क्या आपने कुछ कहा था टीम के लिए?
देख संजीव, कोच का काम होता है लड़कों को मेंटली प्रिपेयर करने के लिए. तो उनका जो माइंडसेट जो है, थॉट प्रोसेस जो है, वो क्लियर होना चाहिए. जास्ती कॉम्प्लिकेशन करने का कोई जरूरत नहीं. और अगर गेम सिंपल रखे और अगर आप बेसिक चीजों को अगर अटेंशन दें तो काफी काम हो सकता है. और कोच के बारे में, कोच ड्रेसिंग रूम में बैठते हैं, लड़कों बाहर जाके लड़ते हैं. और जैसा क्रिकेट वो लोग ने खेला है, कोई स्टेटमेंट करने का जरूरत नहीं. क्रिकेट बात करेगा.
इस मैच में जो दिया हो आखिरी दिन में, कुछ आप मेंशन करना चाहेंगे? कोई एक लाइन जो टीम को मोटिवेट करने के लिए कहा हो, एक कोई?
हम सिर्फ कहे कि देखो भाई, आज आखिरी दिन है टूर का. जब बाउंड्री लाइन जब क्रॉस करेंगे, ये इंडिया बैच जो है, ये भूलना मत. आप खेल रहे हैं इंडिया के लिए, आज जान लगाओ. एक आखिरी दिन है, जान लगा के खेलो, उसके बाद जो होगा.
Yeah, Ravi, Ajinkya, obviously sensational win, hats off. Just to underline one thing about the mental resilience, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but to go from 36 all out to Melbourne, a sensational win, then the SCG draw, and then coming here, despite the setbacks, the body blues, body blows, all the adjectives and cliches we can use, it still says a lot about the mental resilience of this team. Where does the credit go beyond the players, the team, the IPL, the coaching system?
No, I think it's all combined. It's you can't just point a finger on one thing. It's all that's happening. IPL plays a massive role because it encourages youngsters to share a dressing room with some of the biggest players in the world. They don't have to be Indian; they could be from other countries as well. So it breaks those barriers, and they learn very quickly. Now, as far as this team is concerned, they just got stronger. Once they bounced back after 36, there was just a self-belief to refuse to take anything lying down, to counter punch at every given stage, and you notice that right through the series. There were times when Australia would be on top, but, there would be a counter punch, and none bigger than that stand between Shardul Thakur and Washington Sundar. I think that really set up the test match. If there was one partnership or a counter punch that set it up for India, that was the one, because it brought India past 300 and the deficit was just 33.
Mr. Shastri, this question is about Rishabh. It was said that he needs to learn the difference between being careless and carefree. Then he lost his place in all formats of the game. So how did you handle him for the past year? Because he has been with the team and not playing much. So how did you deal with
He
him?
understands. He's a good listener. He listens. He understands. He realizes what's his natural game, but he knows he has to strike the right balance, between caution and aggression. No one wants to change the natural ability of anyone as a coach, but sometimes you can be reckless, and this game teaches you to learn. And he's shown it in both the test matches. 90 odd in Sydney. If he had stayed there for another 45 minutes, we might have had a different story to tell in Sydney. He was disappointed with that shot. He learned from that and made sure he was there at the finish today. So fabulous job.
লেটেস্ট নিউজ আর এক্সক্লুসিভ ভিডিওর সঙ্গে আপডেট থাকতে এখনই সাবস্ক্রাইব করুন আমাদের ইউটিউব চ্যানেল। বেল আইকনে ক্লিক করতে ভুলবেন না যেন।